The petrol is ready to fly. 4 years ago, the West actually buried a unique cruise missile, but it turned out that it was too early to rejoice. But about that right after we list the most interesting events that happened in our country during the week. So, Rosatom began work on the installation of the main process building, Russia's first gigafactory for the production of energy storage devices in the Kaliningrad region. 150 pieces of innovative equipment will provide a complete production cycle from mixing and plating to lithium-ion cell production. The level of production automation will be 90%. In the assembly and test building of the Vostochny Cosmodrome, the assembly of the Angara NZ block package of the Angara A5 launch vehicle mock-up was completed. Specialists did it for the first time at Vostochny. During the comprehensive tests, all systems and units worked properly. The assembly of the first and second stage of the mock-up was completed on schedule. Eko Niva launched the Bortnikovo livestock breeding complex in the Moscow region. The investment in the project amounts to 4 billion rubles. The complex is designed for keeping 3,500 milking cows and 5,000 heads of young stock. Its production capacity is 34,000 tons of raw milk per year. Gazprom started construction of a foundry complex for the production of gas turbine blades in the Tula region. The enterprise will become the largest specialized foundry complex in Russia. The production capacity of the enterprise will be 34,000 castings per year. The investment in the project is more than 13 billion rubles. A plant for the production of grain cleaning drying complexes was opened in Ufa. The investor was the Amkador Machine Building Holding. The investment amounted to about 3 billion rubles. The plant, built in a record time of 9 months, will produce fully localized stationary and mobile KZS for small farms and large agricultural holdings, including through Russian equipment and components. The first Russian prototype of a hydrogen-fueled electric vessel was successfully tested at the Imperium shipyard in the Niva water area of the Leningrad region. The catamaran, which has a hydrogen generator integrated into its power system, moves almost silently and is environmentally friendly. During the tests, the prototype moved in almost absolute silence. How its engine was running could not be heard even as it moved away from the dock. Rostec has sent a batch of complexes of the engineering system of remote mining, Zemlyadelye, to the troops ahead of schedule. The latest system, thanks to programmable ammunition, can cover an area the size of several soccer fields with mines in a matter of minutes. At the same time, the explosive devices are capable of self-destruction or deactivation at a set time. LEDI scientists have developed an alternative to the satellite navigation system for drones. The new optical navigation system can be applied in smart warehouses as well as in areas that are difficult for humans to navigate. The optical navigation system was realized in the laboratory for the development of systems for group application of drones and has already been tested on the small drone, SAGIR-1, developed by scientists of St. Petersburg State Technical University LEDI. Russian grids modernized 11 substations in the Amur region to increase power flows from the Zya HPP. In addition, conditions have been provided for increasing permissible power flows to the south of Yakutia and to the western regions of Primary, remote from generation sources, by 1/3 to 570 megawatts. Russian-made microprocessor complexes were used. And now for the Stormtrooper. 4 years ago, the West actually buried a unique cruise missile, but it turned out that it was too early to rejoice. The 9M730 Burevestnik cruise missile also grew out of one of the old Soviet designs. In the Soviet Union, its realization was hindered by the lack of sufficiently compact reactors. In 2015, Sarov had a breakthrough in this area, and what seemed a fantasy 20 years ago became a real realization. At the very beginning of this October, the New York Times, the flagship of the liberal press, suddenly brought up a topic that it itself tried to close 4 years ago. In August 2019, an article where unnamed experts from a branch of U.S. intelligence merrily and flamboyantly buried a Russian project better known as the Burevestnik nuclear-powered cruise missile. At that time, rumors were actively circulating about another failed test of this most mysterious weapon from the cartoons of the Russian president. The only system that has yet to take tangible form in the eyes of the mass audience. It was developed jointly by the Novator Design Bureau in Ekaterinburg and young scientists from our nuclear city of Sarov. According to the newspaper, taken, as usual, from very competent and terribly mysterious sources, another 13th, but what else? The test of this rocket again failed, and the project was decided to close for good. Burevestnik, then offensively called Flying Chernobyl, and sentenced it to oblivion, allegedly due to the lack of competence of the Russians who developed it. This trademark and traditional for Western occulters mixture of uninformedness, arrogance and secret fear was read in this material behind every phrase. For the time being, American reporters decided to simply ignore the topic, even when in August 2021 another test was conducted, recognized as successful in the Pentagon, for whom such a missile promised to be a giant headache. Burevestnik has only been seen in the public domain twice, at the factory and during a training launch in 2019. And no one can say for sure whether it was true or a hoax. But now, apparently, it's time to bring this Russian monster out of the closet again after 4 years of silence. And this time the information smoke was not without fire. Footage from the replacement satellites of the private American company Planet Labs quite clearly record increased activity at the site in the Arctic regions of Russia, where the previous tests with Burevestnik took place. Obviously, the situation no longer allows to silence the truth, and the next tests of a nuclear-powered cruise missile, scheduled, according to the newspaper Insiders, for October, should bring this program to a completely different level. To quote, "In late summer, Russian officials issued a notice to aviation recommending that aircraft not enter the 12-mile zone around the launch site near Pankovo on the Barents Sea coast. Now it is constantly being extended, and according to the latest data the same has happened in October 2023. The exact same directive came from Russia on the eve of the August 2019 test. Another indirect indication of preparations for the test was the presence of 2 specialized Aerospace Force aircraft at Rogachev Air Base, 100 miles south of the launch site. This is also confirmed by an analysis in Planet Labs satellite imagery by the Norwegian environmental organization Bellona. Experts said the missile is dangerous not only for its ability to carry a powerful nuclear warhead, but also for its ability to emit harmful radioactive emissions if it explodes or fails during testing, says author Riley Marin, one of the New York Times' top open-source intelligence specialists. This satellite image shows serious pre-launch activity in the vicinity of the 9M730 launcher compared to previous months, according to the paper. These are Planet Labs satellite images. What can this sudden awakening of journalists and their statements in defiance of the fact that they consigned the petrol to the dustbin of history 4 years ago tell us? First, that the matter has taken a serious turn, and work on the missile has reached a decisive stage, and hiding its existence from readers will very soon become ridiculous. And of course that all these pseudo-environmental organizations are tightly fed by the CIA and in fact represent one of the branches of NATO intelligence. Recall that the petrol, thanks to the nuclear propulsion system, refers to high-precision missiles of the so-called Global from 20,000 kilometers range, capable of carrying both conventional and special warhead or planning hypersonic block. Such a range allows it to easily bypass all missile defense systems and strike even from Antarctica. The U.S. South remains virtually naked in terms of missile defense for obvious reasons, and hypersonic speeds are not even needed here to inflict fatal damage to critical U.S. infrastructure. This shot in the West represents as the moment of the Storm Petrel's throwing trials. The scale of preparation is now said to correspond to full-scale tests of the finished product. The missile reaches 9 meters in length and carries a warhead with a yield of 1 to 5 megatons when nuclear-equipped. Foreign experts claim that the petrel is launched to the western route by a solid fuel rocket engine, after which a mini-reactor starts working, due to which it can stay in flight practically indefinitely. But if the traditional American journalists' comas about ecological harm, immorality and indiscriminateness have been used, it usually means that the Pentagon simply does not know what to do with this threat and is trying to fill the airwaves with a new portion of verbiage. Be that as it may, we would like to wish our developers good luck, and their children an even sooner entry into our nuclear triad. Well, the other day Vladimir Putin confirmed the successful test of the Burevestnik missile. Russia has successfully tested a nuclear-capable Burevestnik intercontinental cruise missile, Vladimir Putin said at a plenary session of the Valdai International Discussion Club.
The latest successful test of the Burevestnik, a nuclear-powered, nuclear-propelled global-range cruise missile, has been conducted.